and suddenly my phone froze and yeah, I dropped out. Plus there was a troll. Nasty, nasty, nasty troll. Anyways, I can't even remember what I was saying before. I think I was talking about resources, and I'll just do a little bit of a recap on what I spoke of. So if you're, breaking into tarot and you're just wanting to learn it for the very first time, I highly recommend Around the Tarot in 78 Days. I also recommend Tarot 101 by Kim Huggins, followed thereafter by Understanding the Tarot Court, followed by Tarot Reversals, followed by 78 Degrees of Wisdom. Now, 78 Degrees of Wisdom is a massive tarot resource. There are some great tarot books out there, folks. 78 Degrees of Wisdom is not a book that I would recommend tarot beginners. It is very, very intense in more esoteric principles and golden dawn information and, that type of information, which is valuable when you're ready for it, but it's much more complex language as well. And so it's definitely for a book for those who have already a good grasp on tarot, who want to delve into specifically the Rider-Waite-Smith system and all the esoteric material that comes with the Rider-Waite-Smith system. So yeah, lots and lots of resources to talk about. But as I was saying, I did a 2-hour live stream to tie off Tarot for Esoteric Evolution, and we talked about a whole bunch of bits and pieces, as well as, like I was saying, tips and tricks and solutions for people having specific types of tarot problems, learning problems, memorization problems, stalker cards, you name it. We talked tarot court. We talked Maslow's hierarchy of needs and brief. We grazed over that. So we talked archetypes, numerology, astrology, Kabbalah. We talked it all. So it was a really great, informative live stream, and it brought the Tarot for Esoteric Evolution to a conclusion. So we are starting our it's designed to be very fun, very educational, very fun, and full of exercises. So the idea is we together study a book, then we get together and we do some round robins, some like little games as a part of our tarot learning, and lots of journaling, lots of personal perspective, as well as incorporating the perspectives of other people that are currently learning alongside of you. And I'm really big into refreshing my knowledge on the tarot, as I've previously stated. I don't ever want my tarot practice to be stagnant. I don't ever want my learning to stagnate either. So I'm constantly refreshing, I'm constantly rereading, I'm constantly reimagining and coming up with new ideas to breathe that sense of vitality and freshness into my tarot practice. And for me, one of the best ways to do that is to actually go back to the books that left a huge impact on me and reread them. Because when you read a book the first time, you get one lot of impression from it. Then you read it again and you find something new in there. And then you read it again and you find something new. And when you read a book that you've already read and you're quite well versed on the tarot, when you reread that, it reminds you of those exciting little connections that you made, and those little moments of light bulb, and the little things that resonated and that really hit home for you. Today, as I was going through Around the Tarot in 78 Days, we were reading about the Page of Wands and also the Ten of Swords. And just rereading that tiny little bit there, with the community, it just reminded me of those little God, I remember that. I remember that. But at the same time, in a reading, I don't necessarily always remember that. So it's really great to go in and refresh your knowledge on the tarot, to do it in a community environment. Because yes, you can do all of this on your own. And I certainly have in the past done it all on my own, but it's nowhere near as fun. It really isn't. And as I was saying in my previous live stream, when you read a book, you have a singular interpretation of a singular piece of material, right? When you compare that interpretation to the interpretation of another person, you get a little more insight. You get to see something from a different perspective. When you can do that with 10 other people, you get 10 other perspectives. So you really get a multi-faceted view on the same resource that you are reading, which then opens up the potential for learning more. So when you can share your learning with others, especially on the subject of tarot, it's fantastic. When you can play these little tarot games that I've got planned for the community over there, it is such a fun way to really cement some, some fantastic knowledge on the cards, and to hear what other people have to say about them as well, in a really easygoing, casual, funny, because this is always funny. These little games are always funny because you get to, just have so much fun with it. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So I wanted to tell you all about that. We are starting that in 2 weeks' time. And I hope some of you can join us if you're interested in refreshing your tarot learning, if you're interested in picking up tarot for the very first time. I'm doing all of this learning over on Cardslinger, and Cardslinger is a tier on my Patreon that costs $6 a month. As a part of Cardslinger, you also get to be a part of the Magical Library, which is a book club as well. So we do a lot of like magical reading, fiction, non-fiction, live streams, competitions, giveaways, prizes, all that sort of stuff. There's something going on right now, actually. There's a team reading event going on right now, and we're buddy reading at the moment The Once Future Witches by Alexis E. Harrow. Very, very good book. It's a fascinating story, let me tell you. So there you have it, beautiful souls. Just thought that I would touch base with you and talk to you about, mention a couple of resources for you here. I'll probably be mentioning these resources over and over again in my future, and because I stand by them, especially Tarot Wisdom. I especially stand by anything by Rachel Pollack or Mary Kate Greer or Marcus Katzenthali Goodwin or Kim Huggins, really. They are my favorite tarot authors. Benabel Wen has her Holistic Tarot book, which is a fantastic resource as well. And I would say this about Holistic Tarot, and that is that if you have a deck that doesn't have a guidebook or doesn't have a little white book, or that you're struggling, let Holistic Tarot be the big white book for your tarot deck, okay? The big guidebook. No, I don't feel comfortable using white book anymore. That doesn't feel fair. A good resource to have with any tarot deck that doesn't already have the author's input in it. When you can have a deck that has the author's input in it, so a tarot and a guidebook, by the same author created, that kind of structure, it gives you more insight into the art and the style and the meanings and the symbolism as intended, through the eyes of either the artist or the tarot creator. But when you have a deck that doesn't have any of that, then you need a good resource to go in and alongside it. And Holistic Tarot is one of those really good resources. Rachel Pollack's resources are fantastic, but they are steeped in esoteric wisdom, learning, knowledge, you name it. There is, here we go. Oh, let me show you. Here we go. We have this, right? We're looking at the Hermit from the Visconti, the Marseille, the Rider Golden, the Rider, the Golden Dawn Ritual, the Egyptian, and the Shining Tribe, which, if you didn't know, the Shining Tribe Tarot is Rachel Pollack's very own tarot deck. So she talks about all of the traditional decks, all of the classics, and as such, it taps into classic resources, traditional meanings, etc., etc. So very, very good. But yeah, today's live stream was really fruitful, really functional, and gave a lot away. So there you have it, beautiful souls. Hopefully you are all doing well. I'm taroting it up at the moment because I'm completing my my filming and my creating for what is it? Amp Up Your Tarot Practice. So I got a little bit derailed when I broke my ankle and got into a car accident. Now I'm a little bit sick, but I still have been prepping content for Amp Up Your Tarot Practice, and it's coming along nicely. And I hope to be able to offer you some really great learning information over there. Tarot is such a beautiful, beautiful system, and we continuously learn from the tarot, through life. And the more life experience we can build up, the more we can look at the tarot in different ways. Every time you make a memory with a tarot deck, you remember that memory. You remember that tarot deck. You remember that card, etc., etc. So I love I love that type of learning stimulating through meaningful experience. For me, that is one of the best ways to actually learn the tarot is by stimulating through meaningful experiences. Now, I'm a dyslexic person, and remembering reading and all that comes with it, it can be a little bit of a challenge for me, which is why, yes, I love to read, yes, I love to accumulate keywords and do things like that, but I have to make meaningful connections. I can't just have a string of keywords that don't have meaningful connection for me. So when I'm teaching tarot, when I am, you know, creating courses and things like that for Card Slinger or for Tarot Summer School or for any other private student that I might have, it's about that meaningful connection. It's about making sure that your tarot actually means something to you, that you're having personal experiences with the tarot, that you're cementing your knowledge of the tarot through meaningful experiences, and not just through reading, and not just through journaling, and not just through those things. Because while they are functional, yes, they are more functional when you can create meaningful experiences. So journaling about the tarot has to be a meaningful experience for me personally, because that is when I create that personal connection with a card. And personal connection is something that we all remember. We all remember personal experiences, personal, those personal connections. So yeah, it's a really important part of the way that I teach, the way that I learn, and the way that I like to practice tarot. So yeah, just thought that I'd have a little chat with you guys about that. Hopefully some of you can join us over on Card Slinger. My Patreon is how I, keep this channel going and, support my lifestyle, support myself, support my family, all of that kind of good fun stuff. If you're wanting a reading with me, please know that I have a waiting list at the moment for readings because, like I said, broke my ankle, got into a car accident, can't quite get to my cottage yet. But I read in order, so whomever purchased an order first or a reading first, I'll go in that order. But I'm still open for readings and things of that nature. And yeah, so much love to you guys. Many blessings. I hope your tarot studies are absolutely amazing. If you've got any great books that you've been reading, let us know. If you've got any great tarot resources that you've stumbled across, any great decks. I have been like cruising Instagram, and over the past couple of days, I've just seen new decks pop up. I'm refusing to buy Oracle decks right now. So I'm just focused on tarot. I've just bought my 3rd copy of the Mari L. I think I might have said that in my previous live stream, but I've also bought the True North Tarot. Yes, I have. I've got the Hilda Tarot that just arrived the other day. I'm big into Lenormand at the moment, just learning, not practicing or reading Lenormand. But yesterday I pulled the Bouquet, and I pulled the Sun, and I was sitting here with my sister and my father, my 73-year-old father. Is he 73 or 74 now? He had a birthday. Anyway, and I said, oh my gosh, I looked at the weather. It was fully overcast at the time. And I looked at the weather and I'm like, I bet we're going to have a gift of the sun. We've had 3 really fully overcast days, which is, it might not mean much to other people, but we live off grid and rely on solar panels for our energy. And so a fully overcast day means that we don't get very much power into our batteries via our panels. But I looked at it and I'm like, I think we're going to get some sun today, even though the weather was fully cloudy, a little bit of rain. And lo and behold, we got sun when it was not forecast to. And I was like, Lenormand, really, really coming through with some really great predictive experiences. So there we have it. All right, beautiful souls. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with me for another live chat. I've been doing lots of live chats. Spontaneity is my thing at the moment. While I can get to you, I will. Doing pre-recorded videos at the moment is such a challenge, and I'm coming down with a cold right now, so I'm going to nurse my cold. I've decided that I'm just not going to force it anymore. Like I was saying in my previous live stream, I'm the designer of my life. And my rhythm, my day-to-day, it needs to fit with me in a way that is conducive to just a more functional time without putting any like externalized pressures on myself. Crazy, I know. Whoever thought that not wanting to suffer is actually an option? That's my option at the moment. All right, beautiful souls, I'll talk to you again soon. Look after yourselves. And is this live? I'm so lost. Yes, it's live. It is live. Hi, Star. I can't oh, there you go. There you are. Bonestone for life. Thanks, Natalie. We were talking about the bones of the bonestone over on our live stream today on Tarot for Esoteric Evolution. So I made an announcement for Patreons only about the bones of the bonestone, which is this deck right here. Let me lean you so I can give you a little look-see at this deck. So this is the bones of the bonestone. This is what the backing looks like. And this is what the cards look like. So I've made a very, very special announcement over there. And the bones of the bonestone has an image in it that is not in the original tarot. So it's all sketched